I want to start with a confession. I genuinely believed that I needed all of the things. For me to be able to build the business that I wanted to build, I believed that I needed everything. Everything that the gurus are telling me, that I need this particular platform or I need these particular platforms. You need this type of funnel. You need to have these different types of tech stacks, and you need to have this type of equipment and all of this stuff. And I thought, if I don't have what they have, I'm already behind. I'm not going to be successful, because even the big producers out there, even when they show you the minimal equipment that they use, we all know in the background that they have all this great equipment. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, I felt like for me to be able to produce what I want to produce, I need to have all that stuff, or I'm not going to get to that point. So here's me, little me, comparing myself to someone who's been doing this for so long and has the funds and the wherewithal to get this equipment, to be able to use all of these tools. They have teams. They have more than just themselves creating what they're creating. And I'm thinking, I need to get this stuff. So I kept adding and kept adding and kept adding. And then tried to make my business look professional from the outside. But if I'm adding all of these things and I'm not bringing in the income that I need to be able to sustain these things, just pause a little here and let that land. You have all of these things, all of these platforms, all of these tools that will help you. But if you don't have an income to help you sustain those things, because ChatGPT is $20 a month, and school is $100 a month, and Riverside is $30 a month, and all of these things, if you don't have something coming in to be able to sustain those things, then you can't sustain it. And that's when I realized that I needed to cut way back. I needed to change what I was doing, because I wasn't failing. I lacked discipline. And admitting it to myself hurts, because I thought I was being disciplined. I thought, okay, I need to do the things that I need to do to be able to move forward. But I exhausted myself because I had too many decisions, too many things that I was trying to control and keep track of, and trying to create more and more and more, and trying to spread myself thin. And here's the truth. Tools do not create clarity. They multiply the decisions that you have to make. And if you have a team that can help you with that, that's fantastic. This particular person takes care of the editing. This particular person takes care of the type of content you create. This type of person takes care of sales. This type of person takes care of. So you have this team that you can work with. But if you're on your own, every single tool quietly asks you, do I need to be using this today? Is this where the workflow is meant to be going? Should I be moving over there instead and doing this thing because this thing is not producing what it needs to be producing? Am I doing this the best way? And you're drowning in overcomplication and unnecessary work that you don't need to be doing. For me, it fried my nervous system. I became I'm already tired from working. I'm already exhausted from years of trying to work in a system that doesn't work for me. And I'm trying to do more and trying to work like everybody else using the tools that they use, and exhausting myself even more. So I'm making things worse for me. I have decision fatigue before it even started, because I'm trying to figure out what's the best equipment to use. What's the best tool to post my content on? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Jesus, Snapchat. I mean, it's like overwhelming. Pinterest and TikTok and all of this shit. All of these different tools that are out there that are in their own way spectacular. But if you're trying to use all of these tools and spreading yourself so thin that you can't even think straight, none of them are helping you. None of them. And The thing is that the gurus they're not lying to you per se. They're just telling you the things that they knew. And yes, they do want to sell things. They sell stacks, and stacks feel safe because they look like certainty. If this particular person is using this system, it's got to work because it's working for them, right? That's what I would think. No one stopped and asked me, what do I actually want to do with this business? How much energy do I realistically have? What kind of creator am I? I didn't take the time to ask myself these questions. So how can my mentors or the people that I'm following, if I make a comment on a chat, they don't know to ask me these things. I need to be aware enough to ask myself these. But instead of asking myself these questions, I copied their structure without realizing that they have teams, that they have a different business strategy than I do, that they have a totally different life than I do. They don't work the same way that I do. So I was trying to keep up. I was trying to create and trying to shove myself into this box that I really just can't fit in. I just can't do it. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, I cannot do it. And I got overwhelmed and I shut down. And I realized that when I asked myself, what am I actually trying to accomplish here? What is it that I truly want to build? That I started to gain some clarity. It wasn't what tool should I use or what platform should I be on. Instead, it was what kind of an outcome do I want? And what am I creating? And more importantly, most importantly, who am I serving? Because everything that I create it's for me because it makes me feel amazing when I share this information. But it's not for me. I'm not creating solely for myself. I'm creating for a particular person, a woman who wants to change her life, who wants to improve who she is, who wants to change her life. She's ready to do what she needs to do to be able to change things in her world right now. And once I got clear and really sat with that, now I've known all along the type of woman that I want to work with. But I was sidetracked by all the shinies, all the pretty little squirrels and butterflies floating around and all these different tools and tricks and things that I need to be doing. That's not what I need to be focusing on. I need to know, what do I need to do next? Not someday, not, when I have a team or when I have tons of clients that I'm working with, but right now. What is it that I need to be able to do what I want to do in this moment? And when I realized that, once that goal was clear, I realized that all of these tools have their place, but they need to earn their place with me. So if they haven't earned their place with me, then they get cut for right now. If I decide that I want to go back to them and implement them into what I create later, then I revisit them. But at this moment, here and now, these are the particular things that I need, and these are the only things that I'm going to work with. And when I see a new pretty shiny, ChatGPT has become like an amazing tool for me, because I can put in a new pretty shiny into ChatGPT and say, hey, do some research on this. Tell me what's going on with it. But then I can put it aside and not feel like I've lost it, because I put all kinds of notes in my notebook, and then my little commonplace book, and then I put them into another notebook. So I have them someplace else. But when I want to do some deep research, I can put it into ChatGPT and I don't have to go on to Google and try to figure that shit out now. I can just throw it in there and I know that it's in there and it has something that I can come back to. So that's a tool that I use right now for what I'm doing. So what simplification looked like and actually looked like for me was, I didn't optimize, I eliminated. I consolidated to fewer platforms, fewer workflows, creating a system for myself that is actually doable. Because even though I'm working on building my own business, I still work with Roy in our sign business. We still work on the projects around the house. We still do other things outside. And so I needed to have a system that works with all of this. And so finding systems that work for me and understanding that I can put these into place, having fewer, maybe someday offers, I can put those into ChatGPT in my notebook and have them in a space that's saved so my brain doesn't think, oh my God, I had this brilliant idea and I forgot it. No, they're in spaces that I can come back and revisit. And when I want to, play around, I can go back and work on my, mystical animal oracle cards, or I can work on creating chat GPTs that I want to offer, or I can work on, new sweatshirts and t-shirts that I want to work on. I can work on these things, but not pressurize myself to put them out there until they're ready, until I'm ready, because I'm working on specific things right now. So what I did is I built one clear system. And I'm actually still in the process of refining it, because to some degree, there are parts of it, and it's a work in progress, because I need to understand that even though I have the system, if it doesn't work, it does me no good. So I've created a basic system and I'm trying it out. And if it works, then I keep it. If it doesn't work, I refine it. So I have a space where ideas go, like I told you, my notebook and ChatGPT. Have a space, where content is created in Notion and in ChatGPT. I have how it's created. What do I need to do with it? A system for how my thumbnails and all that kind of stuff get done and how my YouTube videos are edited. I do the editing for my videos. So I do the bare bones editing, because that is not my most favorite thing to do. Creating the videos is my favorite thing to do. But so keeping tools like Riverside, that is a tool that I actually use, that I implement, that makes my life easier. And I'm able to keep that and use that as part of the system. I have a system of where does something live? Where does this particular kind of content belong? Where does it need to go? And how does it move? How does it go from one place to another, so that when I'm working with a client, they don't have this jumble of mess trying to figure out what it is that I offer and how they can work with me? Because at the moment, that's what I have, is a mess. I have a website that I kind of use. I have my school community. I have my YouTube. So those are the top three things. But if things are not systematized and not in order, when somebody wants to work with me, where do they go? What do they do? How do they connect with me? Who the hell knows? Because that system is in the process of being refined so that it's easier for people to find me. But when you're fussing around with all kinds of programs and all kinds of platforms and all these other things, the things that are important get put on the back burner. They get waylaid and they don't come to the forefront, which is more important than all of the tools. Because if you don't have a goal in mind for what it is that you're trying to build, and you don't start out like Jade Beeson says, when you start a YouTube channel, you start a business, you need to know how you're going to be making money. And I heard that. I heard it, but I didn't listen. And so now I'm like, I need to back up and start doing things so that I can earn an income from this, that I can share with people and be able to monetize what I'm doing. Because how else am I going to pay for the things that I have that create the business? Once I got that settled and I'm doing that, my nervous system has begun to settle. I'm still, honestly, still a little bit stressed, because I'm like, how am I going to actually do this and be able to succeed with what I want to succeed? But if I have a system in place that says, do this, do this, do this. And let me tell you something. I fought systems forever. I fought routine forever. I love spontaneity. But if I don't have a system in place, and I don't have a particular way that I need to create content and be able to work in between the things that we're doing with Roy, and having a system for making sure that I always create something, what's the point? I'm not doing anything. So now, creating that system, I'm not asking myself 47 micro questions all day of, oh my God, did I remember to do this? Or do I need to do that? Or did I need to, did I edit that video? Because if I didn't edit that video, then I need to go back and edit that video. But if I didn't edit it, or I did edit it, and I didn't post, all of these things that kind of just in your head and stop you from moving forward, stop you from creating what you want to create. So here's the big reframe that I've come to realize. You don't need more tools. You need fewer decisions, better systems, clear priorities, clarity in what you're trying to build, who you're building it for, what your end goal is. Even if your end goal shifts, at least you have an end goal and one good system that you trust from beginning to end. And know that you can adjust it if something doesn't work. If something falls through the cracks and you're like, oh, I need to change this up because I'm not creating, I don't know, you're not creating descriptions the way that they're best performing, whatever it may be. Or I'm getting busy and I'm not remembered to record, or I'm not recording at all. Complexity does not mean that you're serious. And simplicity doesn't mean that you're small. Simplicity means that you know what matters and you're willing to let the rest go. But you don't need it right now. It's not important until you get to the point where you have what you need coming in to be able to sustain those things. So if your business feels heavy, it's probably not because you're doing things wrong. It's because you're carrying too much that isn't yours. You're trying to buy another tool when in fact you need to eliminate tools and come back to the core of what you're trying to create, who you're trying to create it for, what it is at the core that you're trying to do. Clarity is not found in the software. Clarity is found inside you trying to figure out what it is that you want to build. It's claimed when you decide what you are here to build and then remove everything else that fights that decision because you don't need it. So go simplify your life.